Now it's time to talk about fiber. Fiber adds so much excitement to your felt. Lots of different types of fiber, and you probably have seen when you look at the website of supplier, you can find lots of different types of silk, mulberry silk, tussa silk, sari silk, and a few other types. We have viscose, we have flax, we have cotton, we have rose fiber, we have bamboo, lots. And I don't use every fiber we have on the market because many just give you the same effect. What you need to remember, fiber comes in two categories: fine and more thicker fiber. So fine fiber, we start with viscose, tussa silk. Then next category we do have mulberry silk, bamboo. Then we go into flax, cotton. So basically different thickness of fiber. For my practice, I use only few. Two main fiber I would recommend to have: viscose and flax or linen. Let's talk about viscose first, and why and how we use viscose. Viscose can be shiny, just like this. Comes in different colors. I sell up to 40 colors of viscose, or can be matte viscose, like this. What's the difference between two? Shiny viscose behaves like mulberry silk, but much cheaper than mulberry silk. You just get mulberry silk. Okay, there's not much difference except mulberry silk is longer, and I will talk about silk a little bit later. So shiny viscose is great when you want to add embellishment. So what happens when wool shrinks? Fiber does not shrink, and you have beautiful, like wavy, shiny effect. Shiny depends on fiber you use. Shiny viscose give you such effect. The second use of viscose, when we completely laminate our wool. We don't want to see wool. It's called technique of viscose laminating. This is the second. Why do we do this? Either we want to create this lining, okay, to stop wool to pilling, this little pilling creates. Unfortunately, this is drawback of felted clothes. That's why I always laminate lining, so I would not have pilling. So that's what viscose gives you. Or you even can create double-sided garments. Viscose on one side, wool inside, viscose on another side. Completely laminate with viscose. So this is shiny viscose. Why to have matte viscose? Matte viscose slightly cheaper, and it's better for lining, especially if you don't want to have that shiny effect. It's just subtle effect. Another fiber, for me, every felt maker must have. It's flax or linen. It's quite thick fiber, even I would say ugly looking fiber, and something like this. However, it gives beautiful texture. You even can put this on top of like viscose, so you put wool, then viscose, and then flax, and it just gives that beautiful, amazing texture. Especially if you put little like good flock of flax. Okay, so this is flax mainly for decorating purpose. If viscose for decorating and functional purpose, flax for decorating. So as a similar fiber to flax, cotton, but flax give you some shine, cotton will not give you shine. I hardly work with cotton. It's very similar. What other fibers you might have, which not very expensive? Bamboo. Bamboo comes in different bright colors. Not as shiny. It's something in between, I would say, matte viscose and shiny viscose. Not expensive, but it's more heavier. So I use this mainly for decorating. I do not use for laminating, because if you want to create fine felt, you don't want to use bamboo for laminating, because it's heavier than viscose. Okay. So that's main fibers. Now let's talk about silk. Beautiful silk, and as I said, silk now comes and you can buy mulberry silk, tussa silk, muga silk, sari silk. Different types. I don't use muga, it's more expensive, don't see point. So let's talk about first what's the difference between tussa silk, which comes in different shapes as well. Let's talk robin first. So this is mulberry silk and this is tussa silk. What's the difference? Both quite long fiber. Tussa shorter than mulberry. Both comes in beautiful vibrant colors, and both mainly used for decorating purpose, not for lining, mainly due to price tag. Price tag, mulberry silk usually double price than tussa silk. Tussa silk, it's kind of wild silk. It's when cocoons collected in forest and it's usually empty, while this is not empty. I'm not going through the process of mulberry silk. I don't want to put some people, especially vegans, but I know some vegans don't use this silk for that particular purpose. So price tag, and second difference between these two silks, mulberry silk shinier than tussa. Tussa silk is not shiny. It gives texture, beautiful texture, but not as shiny as mulberry. It's easier to do layout with tussa silk than mulberry. Okay. It's because of length of here. This is two silks. However, silk comes in different shape. Before I talk about shape, this is natural oatmeal color tussa silk. If you like to create cobweb, natural, this is beautiful to use for cobweb. And it's obviously, because it's natural, it's cheaper than dyed. I love this silk. I use this silk, natural tussa silk. Now let's talk about how and what shape and form silk comes. First of all, don't forget it comes natural and dyed. The same, this is natural. It could be bleached as well. Avoid bleach unless you need for design. So natural and dyed. It also comes as silk lap. This is silk lap. Okay, not cheap. Sorry, something stuck to my silk lap. Not cheap. And silk lap can be mulberry and tussa silk. This is mulberry from Uzbekistan. So what you can do, you can separate, which is not the easiest task. And I usually wear latex gloves to keep my nerves or my hair on, and I start to separate. This great for textures. The same with silk cups or silk hankies. Absolutely fantastic for textures. So as we started to talk about hankies and cups, what's the difference between two? It's the same product, it's just presented differently. This is, can you see the shape of cocoon? And this shape, because it's a hat, put people off walking with. But what I do, because of separating, what I do, I cut like this in half, and then it's much easier to separate. Price tag the same, except of white much cheaper than dyed. Silk hankies have beautiful frame, which gives nice texture. That's what people, felt makers, like about silk hankies. Again, more difficult to separate. The same problem like we have with silk lap. Wear gloves, latex gloves. When you separate, you can just put like scramble, gives you more texture, or just straight. Okay, can be used as a base to keep your wool layout together, to avoid holes. More expensive base, don't forget. So this is silk cups and hankies. What else we have? What I want to mention, that silk cups and hankies, absolutely amazing to dye. Let's show here what I have here. And I have tutorial, a free tutorial how to dye these materials. Very easy to dye. You can just create, can you see, this is, my hand's rough. This is hankies, and you can create different colors. And then when you put all this, separate first and put squares, when you dye multicolors, it gives beautiful finish. The same with silk laps. Can you see, this is hankies, sorry, excuse me. This is lap. So it is monocolor, but obviously you can dye in multicolored. And what's the beauty of this material, can you see, you will achieve bright colors. So if you're happy to dye yourself, you will save money and you will achieve different colors, because to keep all different colors, it's expensive. It comes with price tag. The same, I didn't mention, very easy to dye mulberry silk. Okay, you will achieve beautiful bright colors, and I use acid dye. One more silk I would like to mention. This is carded sari. Okay, to be honest, it gives beautiful texture. If you don't have, don't worry, you can live without this. If you want to try, yes, what you can do, you can either completely laminate, just separate like this, yeah, thinner, and just put on your wool, or just pinch little bits and add to your felted work. This is all about fiber. Don't forget, fiber can be natural and synthetic. Synthetic fiber, such as Angelina, it's very shiny, gives you beautiful effect, more difficult to felt when you are beginner. Nylon, I hardly use nylon. I try to avoid using synthetic fiber. Viscose, actually, I class natural fiber. Why? Because it's made of wool. It's man-made, but it is natural. One more fiber I would like to mention. It's different. It's kind of silk waste. It could be silk waste, it could be bamboo waste, could be viscose waste. Okay, this is it's called waste, and to be honest, I only recently fall in love with this material. So again, if you don't have, it's not a big deal. This is all about fiber at this stage. Remember, you don't need to go and buy all this fiber immediately. You will accumulate, I promise you this. Make sure you have wool, viscose, and flax. And that's enough for your initial experiments with felt making. And then you will start to accumulate more.